Super Dave here with another review. Super Dave here, and we're looking at another Thundercats review, a villain. This wave has really been helping us round out our core characters, and this one helps us to round out our core villains, the Mutants. And this is Vultureman. Let's go ahead and break him open out of this box, this shipper box, and check him out closer. There he is, out of the package. We see this nice collector-friendly box and, of course, the Mum-Ra symbol. But let's take a look at the inside. There he is. Oh, wow. Vultureman. That open beak mouth, closed beak mouth, all those accessories. Check that out. Oh, wow. That is so cool. Just look at all of that stuff. We'll look at it closer. There's the back of the box. That cool box art there, so nice. And then there's his bio. If you'd like to pause and read that now, you certainly can. All right, let's go ahead and break Vultureman out of his plastic prison and check him out and all of his accessories. And here we are right outside of Castle Plun-dar, and we're going to take a look at Vultureman and all of his accessories. And first, taking a look at Vultureman's hands, we see that he comes with these kind of holding hands, those long fingernails, claws, and then he comes with these weapon holding hands. As you see, it securely holds that pistol type weapon that he comes with. You see those long fingernails or claws kind of look like they, have to be held in a certain way. When you close your palm. That's kind of what it reminds me of, a woman that has extra long fingernails. And then the third set of hands is another pair of, I would say, kind of weapon holding hands in a way, or it could also be used as pointer finger or gesturing hands that hold this claw-like vintage weapon that is reminiscent to our Vultureman. And then he comes with some tools. He comes with a screwdriver, comes with like a needle nose plier there, as well as a wrench. And then, of course, as the cartoon he's famous for, as he's kind of a genius in science and mechanics, he made some superpower potion that when he drinks it, it gives him supernatural powers. Yes. And then he comes with this kind of administered type weapon that I believe shoots something that performs some kind of act, and I forget what that was, but that is cool looking. And then he also comes with his goggles that you can put on his head, which he was seen in quite a few times in the cartoon. And then he comes with this alternate head, which is his mouth open there. Wow, what a cool looking head. Let me turn that around just so you can see it good here in its full glory. Look at that tongue, and just, oh man, that is so cool. Would have loved to have had a mouth that was articulated. That would have been cool. But of course, there's the head sculpt that he comes with, the more calm, closed beak head. And that's just so awesome. And last but not least, he also comes with this giant rifle type weapon. And it has like almost like to me, a paint gun type look to it. But it's cool and very cartoonish. And neat looking rifle type, or even could be a machine gun type weapon. Really cool. So that rounds out all of his accessories there. Now let's take a look at Vultureman's articulation. All right, to take a closer look at our Vultureman and his articulation, that head sculpt looks really good. I'm liking that head sculpt there. I think it looks really good there. And just looking at those goggles a little closer too, he's got kind of like a little antenna coming up off that top of those goggles. They are not translucent like shades would be, but on the back they do have like a buckle type representation there with holes and everything, but it is not actually a buckle. It's just molded together, but it looks realistic. And of course you can take that off, or you can of course put those over his eyes, and there's what he looks like with that. Looks cool. So he's in it when he's welding. I don't know, this is kind of like the Panthro of the Mutants. I mean, he of course the back, as you read in the bio, I mean, he's kind of very self-ambitious. He works with the Lunatics, he works with Slive, he also is known to work even with the Thundercats if it served his purposes. But anyway, let's go ahead and look at his articulation. He's going to be able to look up a good amount there, pretty good amount. Doesn't really look down, he only looks straight ahead. He's of course going to get side to side, and he gets some good pivot. I mean, look at that, he gets some really good pivots. I'm pleased with that, especially with some of the limitations we've seen with these lines in the Thundercats, but just really cool. And then of course he'll get pretty much 90 degrees. All of this fur or feathering type stuff is molded kind of on. I mean, it is a separate piece, but it's either glued or somehow molded into the very back there, but it does lift up, so you're going to be able to get a 90-degree T pose there. It would go all the way around. You're just going to have to bend that out of the way, but I mean, you got plenty of motion there. This is where it really gets frustrating. That's all you get for elbow bend there. Just a single jointed and very limited. I mean, he's not going to be able to really drink his potion. You're not going to be able to bend up like this, touch his face or anything. I mean, that's about as far as you're going to get. You know, that's some of the things that I wish he had a little bit more range, that they could have found a way to give us a little bit more range in some of these figures. Even if they didn't do double joints, somehow, you know, design it different. So that's a little disappointing. But with that pinless joint, you do get that elbow swivel there that we've seen with these kind of pinless joints. So you see that. Now, one of the things I didn't mention when we were going over hands is there's no vertical hinges. They're all the horizontal hinges. So I wish he had a vertical hinge, at least one, so that we could have gotten the ability to just kind of shape some of these things, like this weapon, you know, to go up and down, to grab somebody with that claw-like weapon or whatever. But you can see that he holds his weapons very well, like in the weapon holding hands. So you see how that works. So we've got a good amount of articulation there. Now we're very limited here. You know, Vultureman, like some of the other bad guys, kind of have a slouched persona there. They kind of slouch over. So he's going to be able to bend forward, which is pretty much his standard position, really. That's supposed to be his standard position. And he's not really going to bend back very much. When he does crunch forward, it kind of covers up that little section, so you kind of see one layer of abs there. But when you bend back, there's not really any forming going on there. I guess you can kind of see the sternum coming down there a little bit, but you don't see any abs or really anything. So I guess he's kind of meant to kind of stay like that. And but that looks good. And then of course he will swivel at the waist of this belt and everything, and so he does swivel. Doesn't get much side to side. Also, it's again very limited. It will a little bit, but not a whole lot, and it's not going to turn to speak of. To look at these legs, he gets full splits there. That skirt moves out of the way. He's going to be able to kick up a good amount there. It's at least 90 degrees, if not a little better there. He does have thigh rotation. He's got single jointed knees, of course, and because of that pinless technology, this one actually rotates really well at the knee, since you don't have really a boot to speak of. You have this knee swivel here, and then he's going to get full tiptoes. He's going to be able to go up almost all the way, which is excellent, and perfect rockers. Now my joint is a little loose, so you're going to have a little bit of a hard time standing up with this guy because he's got such narrow feet. I mean, they're very narrow. He doesn't have really a good firm foundation, but they're long. They are very long, and then they have those two claws like a vulture, you know, his little perch area of his feet there. But you know, you're going to be able to get some great poses, I believe, overall with this guy. Definitely. So, and also he does have the peg hole in the bottom. All right, now let's go ahead and do some comparisons. And here is our Vultureman with the open mouth beak head, and he's drinking his superpower potion. And there's the whole team of mutants, other than Rataro, which he'll probably come in another wave. Hopefully, God willing, if nothing happens, we may see a Rataro. There's Slythe and Vultureman, and he is tall. I mean, I've got his head up, and I don't have his knees very much bent, and I've got his ab, crunch area bent back. He's about the size of our Munkin if he was to kind of stoop over, but that's probably him in his tallest form right there. But you see him there beside Jackalman and Munkin. But that's the core group, especially in Season 1, most of the episodes, you had these, Vultureman showed up eventually in that second half of the first season. But yeah, there they are, looking awesome, really cool. And there's our Vultureman holding his rifle weapon, and that is pretty cool looking. And he's got that open mouth beak again, and you can see there better that he kind of looks about the same height as Munkin there. He's stooped over, and I've got his knees rather bent just a little bit. There he is beside Mumra in elderly form there, and Mumut as well, looking up at him, saying, okay, who you gonna shoot there, buddy? But that is cool. He's looking really neat there. I like Vultureman. He looks like he stepped right out of the cartoon from the 80s, so I think he's great. I love this guy. He is cool, especially in completing the set here. And here's our Vultureman next to Mumra himself. And Vultureman is fixing that walkie-talkie that Pumra uses eventually in one of the episodes that he came with. Pumra came with. But that looks cool. He's able to hold everything pretty good. Those tools, just really neat. I like those goggles too. He makes it look like he's really working on something and getting serious about it. Cool deal. Looking neat for sure. And here they are in battle, and you see how they measure up with the good guys as Panthro and Lion-O and even He-Man come to fight all the mutants and even their allies here. Even Mumra there in the background. This is looking so cool. Loving this set here, and these guys, they're coming at them there. Look at them. And if you have an effect like a blast effect piece, I could not find mine that has the little peg. I'm using a little tacky there, but it does have a hole in the end of that pistol, so you could attach, if you have some machine gun or pistol type blasting effects and some of your accessories that will stick into the end of a little hole at the barrel. This does have that hole at the barrel. Matter of fact, the shotgun has a larger hole, so it may fit some of those like Iron Man accessories. I'll have to check that out, but I just stuck this one on there with some tacky and it'll work. But you can, use a blast effect. Just mention that. But looking cool here as they fight against not only the mutants, the mutants, but even some of our allies or their allies like Captain Hammer Hand and all these guys here. Is so cool. So neat. Panthro spinning his nunchucks. Lion-O with that balled up fisted shield, claw shield. That Hordak MX hollering or angry face head sculpt of He-Man for the Masterverse line. You can just go all out with these guys. They look just so cool here. So cool. Vultureman is looking awesome. And there's our Vultureman using his rifle type weapon. And the hole at the end of that barrel is a little too big to use like the Iron Man effects. That one is actually the effect that comes with this Black Widow action figure. Her blaster on her jetpack and it was just a tad too small of a peg to go in that hole, so I used a little tacky steel to get that in there. But as you can see, there are holes at the end of these barrels so that you can use that. But there they are, fighting Tigra and Chitara, and even our classics Fisto is getting into action here to fight the mutants. So cool, so neat. There's our classics slime pit or zombie horde He-Man there that's even helping the mutants. So you can kind of see how they fit in with classics, but it's looking really cool there. Awesome.